All right, what's going on, guys? Try back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my review for the first official trailer we have for Fear the Walking Dead Season 5. Alright, and spoiler warning if you guys have not seen Fear the Walking Dead up to current date. So we've got the trailer now finally being released for Fear the Walking Dead Season 5. It's kind of a late sort of release, but at the same time it isn't, considering that Fear the Walking Dead is not premiering anytime soon. It won't be till June, so we still have a couple months before April and May, and then June 2nd is the premiere date. So just at the beginning of June, and as I've said in quite a few videos, as we did one earlier today, most likely it's to avoid Game of Thrones, which is very smart. We pretty much all agree that that's a good decision to make, because you don't want to air at the same time as Game of Thrones. No one will watch your show. So, yeah, man, finally getting to see the trailer here, and overall kind of thoughts on it. We'll go through scene by scene afterwards, but I like it. It's got, Fear the Walking Dead has kind of an interesting vibe right now. It's got certain parts of the trailer that are like, and I'll put the link in the description, by the way, so you guys can watch it if you haven't seen it. AMC's got it posted on their page, so does Skybound. It's got elements of it which are really dark, like horror, like stay out, this type of caution signs, and zombie heads hanging from trees, and zombies in chains and stuff like this as barriers. It's almost like a video game level, like they're going through, and you're kind of like getting over one obstacle, and then there's some other kind of crazy obstacle in the way to wherever it is they're going, and I'm not entirely sure where that is. Maybe we'll see Dwight at the end or something like that, or maybe Troy. No, we don't get to see Troy in this trailer that I saw, unless he's like kind of hidden in there cleverly. I haven't gone through and really, freeze framed every frame of this trailer just yet. I just watched it and I'm doing the review with you guys now on it. There is a guy who's leading a herd, I think, with a stereo. So we'll see. But they did kind of announce that both Daniel will be returning and Troy, and we get to see Daniel in the trailer, which I thought was really cool as well, too. You have Strand, who's trying to talk his way out of something, and you can see him there. It's pretty funny. And then you have Dan, who has him at gunpoint and says, "You still talk too much, Victor." So I like that one. I thought that was really cool. And I'm interested to see what they're going to do with Dan in the series now, and whether or not he's going to stick around, because Ruben Blades, who plays Daniel Salazar, he's obviously really busy. He gets other being an artist and everything, so he's got other stuff going on, and he can't always be there for every single episode of every season and that kind of thing for Fear. So he's kind of come in and out of the show, which is kind of funny. Maybe in some ways that kind of made him somewhat safe, so that he never had to really worry about being killed off, because he would just leave and then he would come back later, and it'd be like a cool thing to see him there, and then he'd go again. So it's kind of like maybe he was safe because he was never around long enough for them to really do anything with, as far as that goes. And in the long run, maybe that could prove to actually be beneficial. We'll see if this is the last time we see him in the show and have him stay in the show, or whether it will be like prior times where he comes in for a little while and then he leaves again, or if it's just some kind of small appearance. We'll see. It'll be cool to see him come back, but at the same time, I don't know how substantial it's going to be in terms of the story. How long he's going to stay for, and whether or not it's just like a one-off, and whether or not he would even join Strand's group with Morgan and with the others. Because really, at this point, there's Luciana, there's Strand, and there's Alycia, but Madison and all the others, Nick, they're all gone. So for Dan, it's like, yes, they shared some time at the beginning of the zombie apocalypse together, but we don't know necessarily if he would want to join them again and stay with the group all the way through and live with them and all that. So we'll see. Maybe he will, but I wouldn't be surprised if he just stops by for a little while, and then his character decides, okay, I'm going to go, this nice visit, whatever, that type of deal, and then he's going to head off on his own again, whatever he's doing. That wouldn't surprise me either. But it's fun to see kind of them two kind of together again, because they were always bickering and fighting and mistrusting each other and doing crazy stuff, and it's good fun. So I enjoy that. So that's one of my favorite parts of the trailer for sure. We've got Morgan on the radio who says, don't know. So this is from like last year, the end of season 4, which I thought was good. We reviewed the finale for season 4 of Fear, and I think we all agreed that, or most of us did, that it's kind of a cool different angle that they have, that they're going to basically be the good guys of the zombie apocalypse, which it sounds so familiar, but we actually have never really seen that in The Walking Dead, where you have a group that's going to commit to going out there and trying to help people. Rick and the survivors in the original Walking Dead series, they never really did that. Like, they would help people if people were in need, but they also were not a group, even from the beginning with Shane's influence and the different characters we had there. They were never really a group that would kind of go out and just commit it as their mission to helping other people. They were more just trying to survive themselves. Maybe Alexandria was a group that sort of did that because they'd send out Aaron and Eric to go and find people and kind of recruit them and bring them back in. But we haven't seen it. It's actually kind of something somewhat new. So you have him on the radio. He says, don't know if any of you are out there. Don't know if any of you are listening. But if you are, hang in there. We're coming for you. And then you've got walker bodies. You've got the dead like just everywhere. You have Alycia, who's kind of like thinking, right, or just sitting there maybe depressed. So she might still be depressed after, of course, last season. We can't forget it was relatively, it's not that far back that she lost Nick and her mom. So she's lost, the last remaining members of her family. And so she's kind of there by herself. So, she still probably needs some uplifting and stuff like that, and she's probably still depressed from time to time. We've got Morgan who says, we've been doing this for a while, this helping people, and we haven't had a whole lot of luck. So he says to a little girl, and there's lots of little kids in this trailer, if you guys notice too. There's like this little girl, a little boy, and then there's a bunch of kids around. It's just kind of, it's strange to me. That you have a whole bunch of these kids around. It's almost like someone's been killing their parents and then just leaving them, and then they like maybe there's a villain in the series this season that in some area he's been killing all the parents off, but then he won't hurt the kids. So then the kids, you have a whole bunch of kids running around. I don't know. We'll see. Or maybe they're all just part of some group that lock themselves in some kind of daycare or something. I don't know. Walker heads on trees. Danger. Keep out on the cars. You have no idea where you landed, do you? Then you have Morgan who says, you can trust us, you don't have to be afraid. And then the little girl says, that's what people say when there's always something to be afraid of. And then you have Altea being dragged, I think, or Al being dragged in the rain, this kind of deal. So at first I thought, oh, maybe they're doing that with Troy, or maybe they're doing that with maybe Dwight, or maybe it's a new villain that we're not familiar with at all. We'll see what they do with that. Then you have the kids who are kind of, saying to get down. You have some kind of, whatever, that kind of plane or helicopter type of aviation plane going down, something of the sort. Then you have Strand who says, Strand's trying to talk his way out of being at gunpoint. There's the Daniel reveal, like we said. Morgan, there's no way to really protect yourself. You can't put a weapon between you and losing people, and you can't run away from them either. I'm telling you that because I tried. So maybe he's talking to Alycia there, and she's still having trouble, or maybe some of the others after everybody they've lost. Who knows? Could be anybody. Might not be Alycia. Charlie says or you got Charlie, you get to see Charlie, no lines there, but we know she's a season regular for the season, so she's probably going to be getting a lot more time than, she got a lot of time in season 4 too, but she'll get a substantial amount of time this season as well. Morgan, the way out is opening the door to people, to possibility. So then we've got a bunch of kids there to the herds. So, so they're going out, they're trying to help people, they're doing their thing, and as part of their Morgan and Friends adventures, they're getting into some trouble, right? There's herds, there's crazy people, there's some people they can help, there's some people that are too far gone that they can't help, this kind of deal. So we have a bunch of gunshots and craziness. Someone leading walkers with a stereo, which is fun, and you get to see, there's a lot of quick flashes in here that I should freeze frame. We should go through, later, maybe if we do like a breakdown type of video this week or something, and just kind of look at each freeze frame and give our thoughts and predictions on what we think. But it's pretty cool. Some of the visuals look good. It's got there's like a Western feel for John at a part where he's shooting up a few, and then someone holds him at gunpoint. And there's just a lot of really cool different little visuals. And in some parts, it looks like an old school Romero, horror, like Day of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead. maybe not Day of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead, like a classic kind of horror type of feel, a classic kind of horror look for zombie apocalypse. And then other times it's kind of bright and sunny, right, when it fades out at the end, when you've got the trailer and Fear the Walking Dead. It's kind of nice and light and everything. So then we've got Luciana, when will I be able to play the accordion? And then we've got a bunch of craziness again with John shooting a bunch of walkers and that, and the Dead movie feel like I mentioned. And Morgan, it's not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be hard. Maybe that's how we know we're on the right track. So maybe people questioning whether or not it's worth the effort of putting themselves in peril to go out there to try to help others, and they don't even know what they're getting themselves into. Some people they might be able to help, and some people might be just might attack them or something, if they're villain type characters. Then we have June. I didn't think anyone could help me until you made me believe it. Then we have Alycia in the group of a whole bunch of, they're kind of facing off with a whole bunch of walkers there. And then you got Dwight, who says Morgan, and then Morgan says Dwight, and then they smile at each other. So that's kind of a fun little scene there. There's not much to it. It's not highlighted that much in the trailer. It's just kind of in there from what I can see. It's kind of dark and stuff, so it's a little bit hard to kind of tell. But it's just it comes across as sort of like a cool little thing they've put in. But Fear the Walking Dead is a different version now. It's basically Morgan's show, and going forward, it's pretty much going to be Morgan and the other show, which is not necessarily a bad thing. He's been a Walking Dead OG longer than Fear has even been around for, so it's cool to see him in Fear. I do always, every time I watch Fear and I see Alycia and Strand and Luciana, I always kind of miss the old Fear the Walking Dead of the first few seasons, and the first half of season 4. But there's a lot of new characters like Altea and John and June and Charlie and some of the others. So it's good stuff. It's not bad. It's basically been sort of rebooted or reinvented, like we've said. And now we're getting to see kind of some lead moments here between Morgan really taking lead, being the lead of the show. With Alycia probably as secondary. I'd have to say. And kind of him and Dwight meeting and seeing each other. And so it looks pretty good. Then we roll out to credits of it being a sunny, nice day. So quite the mixture here in terms of the trailer. Does it look? I think it looks okay. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle. I don't think it looks okay. I think it looks good. And it looks promising for what we're going to see. It's going to be cool to see some of these moments here, like characters reunited, like Morgan and Dwight, and Strand and Daniel, and hopefully Troy, again, maybe as the crazy villain that's causing all this trouble and dragging Althea and that horror movie feel. So kind of the light and the dark mixed together here. And as such, I don't know what else to expect too much because, again, as is always the case with Fear, they're not basing it off a comic series, so we don't have kind of a path laid out here to where they're going to go. We don't really know. It's kind of a blank slate, and they can do anything they want, and they certainly showed that last year in Season 4 with bringing Morgan in, killing off certain characters we never thought they would, totally reinventing the series, and now it's got a new vibe, feel, and everything. With a little bit of fear, actual fear, darker scenes and scary stuff mixed in there. So, does it look? I think it looks pretty good. I'm looking forward to it in June. I'm glad it's still on. That's people take it for granted. Hey, it's still there, right? You can still watch it, so that's good. And there's going to be new episodes, and there are some really important characters here that I'm looking forward to seeing again and seeing what they do with. Namely, who am I most looking forward to seeing? Alycia, probably number one, just because she's an OG Fear character, and then Morgan, and then to see Dwight and Strand, Daniel, and then kind of down from there with some of the newer characters in that. So not bad stuff, and the roster doesn't feel as empty as it once did, considering that the original Walking Dead series, and sometimes even feels kind of a little bit lighter than Fear's now. At least to me. I don't know. You guys leave your comments below. Let me know what you think about the rosters between Fear the Walking Dead and the original Walking Dead. Now that Fear's gotten Morgan, they've gotten Dwight, they've brought in some good new characters like Al and June and John and Charlie, and then they've got the OG Fear, the 3 survivors from before, and now is 4 with Daniel coming back and Baby Troy as a villain. Let me know what you guys think. That sounds pretty good when we think of it in terms of the characters. that sounds pretty good, and we'll see what they actually bring us coming this June. So looking forward to it. Let's see what they got, man. I don't want to, Fear is always that questionable one where some people want to turn off, and it's like, well, let's see what they can do. And season 4, I'll say this. Season 4, even if you don't agree, I don't agree with some of the character deaths they had, that's for sure, you guys know. But at least it was eventful, and it was memorable, and it was something to watch, right? It wasn't like just a season where they just went through a season and it's forgettable. Definitely season 4 of Fear is a very memorable season, and they are doing some big things with the show and reinventing it, changing it a lot. So at least we can say it's not just kind of some run-of-the-mill type of average stuff where they aren't taking chances. They are taking big chances and big risks with the show, and that's probably a good thing considering you don't want it to become boring or just mundane, right? And have all the same survivors all the time, just going and doing whatever and having not much to it. So they're keeping us on the edge of our seats with both The Walking Dead and Fear, and we'll see what this season of Fear looks like. Let me know what you guys think about this trailer. If you like this review or breakdown, thumb it up below. You can share, you can favorite. And if you're new and you want to subscribe, button left to subscribe to see lots more Fear videos in the future, at least for a couple more years, and we'll see how much longer they can get out of Fear. Hopefully a while, because I do enjoy it, and there's not much else on during the summer. It's, I hate to say it, but like I look at the summertime and I'm like, okay, what's my most anticipated series of the summer? Mr. Robot's over. There's not much else. Game of Thrones will be a spring run, so it won't be a summertime show. Fear's number 1 for me for the summer. Like it's a series I'm looking forward to most. Well, okay, I can't say that because I just remembered Stranger Things is coming. Okay, second most. All right, leave your comments below if you guys like the video. Thumb it up, all that good stuff, and I'll see you back in soon. As always, this is Travis saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.